also something that is probably just me, or actually not, is the joy of having Donald Trump face some consequences. And the former president was facing them early today when he was testifying under oath before the New York Attorney General. Unfortunately, he has told us that he invoked the Fifth Amendment the whole time, and he wasn't going to answer any questions under oath. This is that long-running civil investigation into his business dealings. As far as his decision to invoke the Fifth Amendment, it really seems to be in contrast with past statements that Trump has made, essentially condemning others who were using this, strategy?
The mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? When you have your staff taking the Fifth Amendment, taking the Fifth, so they're not prosecuted. When you have the man that set up the illegal server taking the Fifth, I think it's disgraceful. Have you seen what's going on in front of Congress? Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. Horrible.
Yeah, so Trump is willing to condemn using the Fifth Amendment, which is a right that all individuals have, but he clearly feels completely comfortable using it himself. This is an observation made by the Associated Press. As vociferous as Trump has been in defending himself in written statements and on the rally stage, legal experts say the same strategy could have backfired in a deposition setting because anything he says could potentially be used in a criminal investigation. That's right, because this is a civil investigation, the one that's being led by Attorney General Letitia James. And it's involving allegations of Trump's company and the Trump Organization misstating the value of prized assets like golf courses and skyscrapers, misleading leaders and tax authorities. And so even though this is a civil litigation, his decision to invoke his Fifth Amendment can be used against him. That's right. Also, per the Associated Press, in May, James's office said that it was nearing the end of its probe and that investigators had amassed substantial evidence that could support legal action against Trump, his company, or both. The Republican's deposition, a legal term for sworn testimony that's not given in court, was one of the few remaining missing pieces, the AG's office said. Two of Trump's adult children, that's Don Jr. and Ivanka, testified in recent days, and two people familiar with the matter had said that. And the people were not authorized to speak publicly and did so on condition of anonymity. Now, once her investigation wraps up, James could decide to bring a lawsuit and seek financial penalties against Trump and his company, or even ban them on being involved in certain types of businesses. It will be interesting because also it's my understanding that the Manhattan DA's office is watching the investigation there because they were supposed to be pursuing a criminal investigation of Trump for engaging in these same antics. But of course, with the change in Manhattan DA, all of a sudden, the individual who is now the DA was like, oh, I'm not gonna necessarily pursue that. Interesting how that works. But they are supposed to be essentially watching this behavior because James's investigation is limited to civil once again. Whew. It's been a busy week for Donald Trump. He had his home in Florida raided. Also, he lost his appeal as far as sharing his tax returns with the House and Ways and Means Committee. Also, it's my understanding that all of the documents he did not want to turn over to James are now going to be turned over by his, whoever was doing his tax and record company. And they'll be turning over 36,000 documents. So all of these things, it really seems that the walls are closing in on Trump. And I don't think it's a bad thing. How do you think of it, AV?
Finally, we see some action, right? We have been trying to find a way. We knew there was some dirt going on behind closed doors, and we have been trying to find a way to get a solution to this. And now it looks like we're getting closer and closer to reality, is that there was some criminal activity going on in the White House by the way of Faux 5, we'll just say that. But I think the reality is, like, Trump supporters are almost cultish, right? Like, they are gonna follow him. They didn't already drink the sauce. They're gonna follow him regardless of what he says. They'll find a conspiracy on why he has been proven guilty if we get to that point, or whatever evidence they come up with against him. But let this be a reality to people who do not support Trump and people who are supporters of our platforms who don't watch normal news. Use your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. It's valuable. You have it for a reason. It's a constitutional right, okay? We see so many people get locked up for speaking and they shouldn't have. Let this be your lesson that the Fifth Amendment is a good thing, because if he's trying to use it, whether he's trying to get out of jail for free or whether he just thinks he's being wrongfully prosecuted, which most of us don't believe so. He used his Fifth Amendment for a reason. You have it, don't give up your constitutional right. And I hope that's the lesson we take from this.
I think so too. I think that's a very powerful thing, being able to invoke the Fifth Amendment. And it's interesting for those out there who condemn the practice, trying to suggest that there's something associated with criminality, which Trump tried to do. And then, of course, since he seems to be the cardinal hypocrite, is now invoking the Fifth Amendment. So I definitely wish Attorney General James the best in terms of her prosecution of him. And I do hope the Manhattan DA's office, actually, if they have the evidence to support charges, that they bring them, because nobody should be above the law. And we need more agencies and authorities to start treating people equally and start enforcing our laws.